Hi. Now let's work in the problem 17 for normal distribution section 6.2 of MindTap. We saw this problem before, and this is we're trying to determine. We answer some questions about cost of domestic airfares in the United States using the mean of 385 per ticket and a standard normal distribution of $110. So the first question is, what's the probability that the domestic airfare is 550 or more? So you know how to solve this problem I showed you in the previous video. Let's work on this one. What's the probability that a domestic airfare is 250 or less? Okay, so let's follow the steps I proposed for you to use. So first step is take notes about the mean, which is 385. Standard deviation of 110, and I want to know what's the probability that a given airfare is lower than 250 or less. So that's my question. I start drawing to figure out which data I'm talking about. This is the mean, 250 is somewhere here. I want to know the probability that is smaller than that. Okay, so I'm gonna use Excel to solve this problem like we used before. So let me see. Here we have the same, this is the Greer tire problem. So this is, let's say, airfare problem. So the mean is 385. The standard deviation is 110, and I want to know the probability that a given airfare is smaller than $250. Okay, so remember how I do that. I type equal norm.dist open parentheses, and now I have to enter the amount that is the x I'm looking for. The x is 250, so 250. I type comma, and then I have to enter the mean. The mean is 385. I type comma, and then Excel asks for the standard deviation. I select or type 110, and cumulative, I always type 1, and I answer the problem. So the probability is 0.10. My question for you is, do I have to subtract 1 from this number? The answer depends on the tail. If I'm talking about the lower tail, like in here, I don't have to subtract from 1, because what Excel gives us is the cumulative probability from the lower tail up to this point. Again, what Excel gives us in that formula is the probability from the lower tail until this point. So this is what we want to know. We don't need to subtract from 1. Okay, now let's take a look at the second type of problem, with the third type, which is this one. What if the probability that a domestic airfare is between 300 and 500? Now we're looking at a different kind of problem. Let's see how this is. Again, I draw to kind of understand what I'm talking about. 385. I have 300 below, I have 500 above. This is the area I want to know. Okay, so let's start a new one so you can understand. Let me draw again. So I want to know the probability that is between 300 and 500 with a mean of 385. Okay, so first I'm gonna use Excel to compute the probability from here up to 500, and then I'm going to compute another Excel with the probability up to 300. So this is what I'm going to use in one Excel for each one of those, and I'm going to subtract one from another, and then I'm going to have the final answer, which is the middle. Okay, so let's do that in Excel so you can see how to solve using Excel. Now let's do this probability. What's the probability that I'm going to have a number that is higher than x and is smaller than a number that is higher than 300 and is smaller than 500. So first, let's say probability up to 500. Okay, so this is equal norm dot dist open parentheses, then 500, the mean is 385, 110 is the standard deviation, and 1 is the cumulative probability. Now the second Excel is probability up to 300, and then I do norm dot dist 300, 385, 110, 1, and then final answer. The final answer is equal, remember, subtract the highest minus the smallest. So I'm subtracting one from another. I'm getting the middle probability, which is 63. So this is the final answer. This is probability. This is the probability that an airfare costs between 300 and 500. Okay, so this is how you compute these kinds of problems.